Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another Dracula Hammer horror film review. Now, last time I talked about, well, I've done a review of Horror of Dracula, which I enjoyed. Dracula AD 1972, which was a review slash rant. Dracula Prince of Darkness, which Cody sent me the DVD-R, which was, I thought, a piece of shit. And now, as part of this DVD pack that Nice Training David had sent me a long time ago, I'm reviewing Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. And I will say, in all honesty, I thought this was a decent film. Still wish Peter Cushing was in it. But this was a decent flick. That was kind of interesting, Dracula's Risen from the Grave. I thought it was definitely a lot better than Prince of Darkness. Well, Dracula Prince of Darkness. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness is awesome. For me, better than all these movies. But that's just me. Because I didn't grow up with these movies. First time I'm seeing them. But Dracula's Risen from the Grave, I thought it had some nice stuff to it. I thought the guy, Freddie Francis, did a pretty decent job with this film. I mean, the setup's interesting, where this woman is found in this bell, and there's blood trail that this boy followed. And this is the time when Dracula, during, I guess, previous film, whatever, was going haywire. It's a year later, and Dracula's been killed, I guess the last movie. And this guy, I forget the actor's name, but the monsignor, probably said it wrong, guy who works for the Catholic Church, he goes into town. And he goes to the church in this town, and it's empty. The priest has lost his faith, the priest there. The boy who found it is now a mute. And the monsignor gets in this tavern, and I like the guy who played him. I don't remember who the guy's name was, but I liked him because he has sort of authority to him. He's like, first off, he's like, well, how come you're not there? And, oh, you did your thing already in an empty church? And how come you guys aren't there? What's going on? Well, we can't there. It's evil. Because they're afraid. They're still, even though Dracula's dead, they're still afraid of the evil of Dracula because the shadow of the castle touches, its shadow touches the church. And the Monsignor again has authority. Like, there's no evil in the house of God. Why are you afraid of it? Like, he has a certain authority to him, kind of a badass. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go up there. Priest, are you gonna come with me? And Priest is sort of a chicken shit, but ultimately does go. And the Monsignor, he's going up there, and he has this big ass cross on his back. No problem, he's just carrying this big ass cross, this fuck off cross. Again, this kind of cross, you say, fuck off, leave me alone. And I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna climb these mountains and I'm gonna put that damn thing on the front of the castle, which he does. But as he gets there, the priest becomes a chicken shit. That's what I go on. So the Monsignor says, okay, I'm gonna continue. I'll continue alone. And he gets at times when the evil Dracula or something's around, it'll do this thing where there'll be this red colors, screen gel, whatever, on the side. Like, imagine here and here, this red thing that comes up, like on both sides of the screen. And kind of interesting. Gives a little bit of a interesting look to the flick at times. And the Monsignor reads the prayer and puts that cross right on the door of the castle. While the chicken shit priest falls, lands, and he finds Dracula under the ice, which is how he got done for in Prince of Darkness, which, like I said, I thought that was a silly way. Now, of course, it made sense that, well, he's frozen, he's not dead, and when the priest fell, he got hurt, he cracked the ice, and some of his blood drifted down into Dracula's mouth, which pretty much woke his ass up and back to being alive. But another thing, Christopher Lee actually has some lines. Not tons of lines, but a lot better than Prince of Darkness where he just hissed. Where he goes up and sees the cross and goes, "Who has done this thing?" And pretty much gets the priest under his control. Now, granted, I don't understand why he doesn't just get the priest since he has him under his control. See that cross on my castle door? Take it off. He doesn't do that. I don't know why. I guess the scriptwriter didn't think of that, but it's like, well, okay, you have it under... Because later on, he makes the priest do other stuff, so it's like, take that cross off. And just go back to the castle. I don't know why. But that doesn't happen. Guess Dracula was just having a brain fart. I don't know. But he makes the priest dump this dead woman's body from this coffin to take that coffin for Dracula. And quite a few of these films, you get this young love. Here's a young guy and a young girl, and they love each other, and I don't give a fuck. I'm like, when's Christopher Lee? No Peter Cushing, damn. Let's give me somewhat of a badass like the Monsignor. Let me have stuff to look at, because this young love, these actors, I just don't care. One way or another, I don't care. The actors, I don't care. I'm not going to say it's horrible acting, but it's in the acting that's, I don't give a fuck. That's what it is. I'm watching this, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about you. Although, compared to the others, this is done, I don't know, it's still in the realm of I don't give a fuck, really. But at least the boyfriend character is at least a little bit interesting. Because he's an atheist. And when he goes into this girl that he loves, her father's the Monsignor, he's talking about, oh, well, you know, what are you doing here? And blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like sticking with his beliefs. Hey, I was going to be honest with you. So the fact that he's an atheist and stuff, you know, makes the character at least a little bit different, interesting. But at the same time, he's not being an asshole about it. And one weird thing about this movie, that's another weird thing. At times when you see Dracula around, it looks like it's daylight. I don't know if they filmed day for night, and that's why, but it looks like they're in fucking daylight, but yet Christopher Lee, he was a vampire. I'm like, this is supposed to be night? You're doing a shitty job because it looks like daytime, and Dracula should be dead. So there's certain scenes of that, like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You know, were they trying to do day for night and failed? Of course, day for night usually does fail, because usually it looks like shit. But pretty much you have this woman working at this bar, gets chased by these horses, and comes upon Dracula, who looks at the girl's bosoms, and I don't blame him because she has nice tits. And looks at his eyes and bites her. And then I'm thinking, is it still daylight, daytime? Because I guess it's supposed to be night, but let's... Oh, it's day for night. That's all I'm thinking. It takes me out of the movie. But, chicken shit priest stays at the room, at the bar. The bar girl is now under Dracula's power as well. There's a scene where Christopher Lee slaps the shit out of her. You know, bring her I said daughter, but I think it's like the niece, not the daughter, but the niece of the Monsignor. Bring her to me. Just slaps the shit out of the girl. It's nice to see that Christopher Lee's in the movie more. And it didn't take 45 minutes for him to appear. And at least you have a Monsignor. He's kind of a little bit of a badass. The boyfriend who's an atheist. At least that gives his character a little bit of interest. At least it's something I can remember. And the guy's not a total asshole. Christopher Lee just slapped the shit out of a lady. She fails. The girl, maybe because he slapped the shit out of her, so ultimately she fails. And pretty much she drinks the rest of that bar girl. And tells the priest to destroy her. You get the idea that the priest pretty much put her into this stove in pieces. Or whatever. Or maybe all together. I don't know. And Dracula comes in, bites the niece. And then when he tries again, the Monsignor... Or at least, I forget if he bites her or tries to bite. I know that the Monsignor comes in with a cross. And again, this guy's a badass. He's not chicken shit. Because he does the cross and Dracula leaves, and the Monsignor follows him. He's like, I'm not going to sit here, but no, I'm going to follow him and kick his ass. Okay, I'm down with that. But the chicken shit priest hits him on the head, guy's bleeding, gets back up, slowly gets back to his place where he, saved his niece. I don't think he bites her. I think he tried to bite her. And, but he also talks to the boyfriend and tells him to, take care of his niece. But the guy dies, which that sucked. I didn't want the guy to die. I thought the Monsignor was actually kind of a cool character, kind of a badass. And what sucks at the end of this film is the chicken shit priest lives, but the Monsignor dies. I think that should have been reversed. The chicken shit priest should have died, and the Monsignor should have lived. That's just my opinion. So I disagree with that choice in the writing. But first, the boyfriend, they don't know that the priest killed that guy yet. So he gets the priest, who, one way or another, knocks the boyfriend out. Some dialogue. I can't do it. You'll take me to boyfriend tries to stake Dracula, but he doesn't run. He's not going to die. Pulls the stake out. But the boyfriend, takes some shovel of coal, fire, throws it at Dracula. I like that little scene. Like the little coal fire effect. I don't know. I just like the scene. I like the. I just want to think of it. Oh, take a shovel of coal. Why did I say coal? Coal and throw it in Dracula's face. Okay, I could be down with that. And then he chases Dracula, night down, chases again. Needs to get help. Even tries to fight a little bit of guys in a bar who won't help him. It's like, fine, I'll do it on my own. At the same time, Dracula has the niece in his power and gets the cross off the castle. And again, I'm thinking, why the hell didn't you have the priest do that earlier? But the mute boy from the beginning of the film shows the boyfriend the way. And pretty much, they didn't struggle. Guy throws Dracula over the, I don't know what we call it, throws him over and has Dracula impaled on that big cross that they threw away. Which I thought at least this was a better death than the previous film. Just Dracula being impaled by this big ass fuck you, fuck off cross. And then looks like there's blood around his eyes and he's screaming, yelling. And then the chicky chip priest gives a prayer, and that's where you get like the blood around the eyes. And I like the last shot where you have the big cross and then you have this blood around it and the cape. I'm like, that's a cool image for the last scene of your film. So, I mean, it's not perfect. There's certain stuff I would have preferred. I would prefer the Monsignor do the stuff at the end. I think the Monsignor should have lived and the Chichichi priest should have died. Because I didn't like the priest. I mean, I guess you're not meant to it, but I don't buy his retribution either. I don't buy, nor do I care. The girl, I don't remember anything about. The day for night stuff looks pretty silly. But the Monsignor, I didn't mind. The boyfriend character, who now at the end he has faith. He does believe now. I think they could have done more with that angle, that he's an atheist who ultimately becomes a believer. I think they could have done a lot more of that angle. That's an interesting thing, to have an atheist versus Dracula. Yeah, I think you could do a lot more with that concept. They didn't really do anything with it. Not much at all. But I mean, it has interesting stuff. Christopher Lee, it's nice to see him in there a bit more, especially than the last one. Given some actual dialogue. The Monsignor I didn't mind. And the open in the film where he has this big cross putting on there. How Dracula came back, that was kind of interesting. I thought this one had a better pace. 92 minutes long. I thought it went at a little bit faster pace than the previous film. I thought it just had a little bit more going for it. And then there's certain things I'm like, really? Like I mentioned before throughout this video, but I just thought it had a little bit more going for it, had a little bit more happening with it. Made a little bit more definitely more interesting than the last film. It's okay, at least you gave Christopher Lee something to do. The Monsignor was a decent character. The boyfriend was okay, but they could have done more with his atheism, turn into a believer. The chicken shit priest should have been killed off. The ending, maybe more of a battle, because there's a lot of these movies. It's not much of a battle when it's at the end with Dracula. I mean, the most you get is probably horror Dracula with Peter Cushing, which makes sense because Peter Cushing, but usually it's not much of a struggle at all. I mean, you'd be lucky if it lasts a minute. So, I don't know. But I mean, it's an alright film. It's an okay film. That's the best way I could describe it. I thought it was alright. It was okay. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. Thought it was an alright film, didn't hate it. Either way, thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you in the next video for the Hammer Dracula movie reviews. Later.